Everyone, Abby here, Purple Cottage Crafts, and welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. So I'm in the middle of working on about three journals in my craft room anyway, and then I have about 4 upstairs in my bedroom that I'm working on when I do my stitchy stuff upstairs. So I was just working on a couple of embellishments, elements for one of the journals that I'm working on, and I thought I might share with all of you how I created these, just in case you haven't thought to alter the different key tags that you can get from Dollar Tree, and kind of use them and embellish them to add to your different projects and whatnot. So this is how they look originally, and they're just the paper and that little it's got a split ring on it, which I took mine off because I didn't want them for what I'm working on, but you could definitely keep the split ring. But this is what they look like. And ignore my nails, I have a nail appointment tomorrow. So, girl needs a fill really bad. So anyway, but yeah, this is just the paper, just in case you've never seen these up close before. And then this is just like, I don't know what this is. It's not like tin. Not tin. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so there is that. And that's what they look like before. And then this is how they look now after I kind of grunge them up a little bit. So, and these are some vintage, actually like thicker chipboard, vintage bingo or some type of old game markers. I'm guessing bingo, but I don't know for sure. Because I bought them mixed in with some other bingo items. But this is how they look. And I thought they turned out really, really cool. So I wanted to share with all of you how I achieved this look, into this look right here. So some of the items that I use, and you can, of course can use whatever color combination you want, different sprays, you know, it's just, you get to have a lot of creative freedom with this, and you can make it whatever you want it to be. And so what I did for these two actually is I sprayed them first with just some coffee dye, and I have different strengths, like this one's my little bit darker one, so you know it's not always going to be the same because sometimes I'll use my lighter coffee dye. I did a couple things of spray, you know, coffee spray, dried it. And then I took some alcohol inks, and the 3 that I used on those two are slate. I'll do them in order actually, just in case you want to know that. I did in butterscotch, and then slate, and then meadow. And I'll show you again here. You can see the butterscotch right there. And then this is kind of the slate right here mixed in, and then there's some of that meadow, some of the green. So I just kind of was just playing around with it. I've never, you know, tried to alter these type of, these little key, I want to say key tags before. I've always wanted to kind of play with them. I just never picked them up. And then to kind of cut back on some of that shine a little bit, I just used some of the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide spray, because I really like how that looks. It gave me a color that I could not get with the coffee, and I just like the way that looks. So those are the items that I used, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of get myself set up. I do have some more of those little pieces right here. I have quite a few of them, but these are what they look like. You can see they're like almost like a pressed cardboard or something. They're really cool looking though. Anyway, so I have a ton of those. So I was just using a few of those. You, of course, could use bingo pieces, you know, all kinds of different things on there. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself kind of set up a little bit better, and then I'll come back on and we will work on a couple more of these fun little altered key tags. So I will see you in just a minute. Okay, so you can tell this is the the paper I used for the first two, and I'll go ahead and just kind of turn it this way. I was doing some gluing. So on the first two key tags, excuse me, I did not take off the split ring. I don't know why I just didn't, but I'm going to this time. So I just wanted to show you how I do it, just in case you're curious how I do it. I can't really stick my fingernails in there, mostly because I have acrylic nails, but I just take this little pokey thing I have, and I just do this with it. Oops, trying to look at the viewfinder and do this at the same time. So I'm that person every time, and I just pull it apart like that. And if you want to use this like to rest it for another project, or you want to use it in something else, you know, for mark making, like when you're doing eco dye or something like that, you know, you can keep these little things like that and do that if you choose to do so. Anyway, so like on your regular keychains and stuff, I always always have had a problem getting those things to open, even before I had nails and stuff, like acrylic nails and stuff. I don't know what my deal is, never could do it. So underneath my piece of parchment, I just have one of my cutting boards that I use to dry things on. I just have it underneath there just to kind of break down condensation onto my table here as I'm working. So the first thing I'm going to do is just put on some coffee dye. Now I do have a tea dye, and then I have a different kind of a coffee level of coffee dye here. I'm just going to keep using the same one. So I'm just going to give these a good spray like that. And then what I do is I just been taking my heat tool, and as I'm doing it, I kind of move this up and down because I'm trying to get a little bit concentrated coffee staining on certain parts of this. So I'm going to go ahead and just heat dry these really quick, and then I'll come back and we will continue on. Okay, so as you saw, I was just using my, almost said my tongs. Must be hunger. I'm thinking of my salmon have for dinner tonight. Anyway, I just use my tweezers and I just kind of move it around, and it kind of gives me that gradient right there, and that's what I was looking for. I did use this paper earlier to do some gluing, so there's a little bit of adhesive on here, so if you see them sticking, that's the reason why, and it's not going to hurt this at all. It's going to be fine. So I'm just going to flip them over, and I'm just going to do the same thing. And then I did this a couple of times. You can do it as many or least as you want to. And of course, you don't even have to use coffee. You could just use different sprays if you wanted to that are a little bit more saturated in color. I just kind of wanted to just keep working with the coffee spray, because that's what I've been working on or using for this project that I'm working on. So I'm going to go ahead and give this side a quick dry, and we'll come back and we will move on to the next step. Okay, so I kind of have the base layer of the coffee dye on the paper tags there, and so I'm focusing on this as the front. You can use whatever side you want, of course. So just going to grab the butterscotch alcohol ink, and I will link these items below, by the way. Probably just mostly from Amazon. I didn't buy these from Amazon. I've had these for quite a while, but that's where I'll probably just link them. Let me just get this one over here. Try to make sure my fingers aren't in the way. And then I also just grabbed a Q-tip here, and they're purple, Dollar Tree, just so I can kind of sop up any extra or anything like that. So, and then I am getting some on my parchment, but I'm not concerned about waste or anything, because I can use this in another project or something if I want to. So I just kind of did that with it. I didn't try to cover the whole thing completely. I just kind of let it really kind of gravity take its course, so to speak. And let me try to get a little bit closer. Just worried about my hand covering up what I'm doing here. Just in case you haven't worked with alcohol inks before, this is what the tip looks like. And they really just pour out. I don't have to squeeze mine. They just kind of come out on their own. And so I just kind of put it on there, let it kind of just pull like it is. I know my hand's covering, sorry. And I just kind of did that. And then I just took my heat tool to it and kind of let it get a little bit of a set. And then when that happened, I just came back in with some of the slate, did the same thing, and then let it dry it again, came back with the meadow, and then I went back over it again a couple times with a combination of these two here, just to get the look that I'm looking for. So just so you don't have to listen to my heat tool as I'm drying this, I'm just going to let this next part run. But I want to just explain to you, as you see me grabbing different ones, that's all I'm doing is putting one down, drying it, put another one down, kind of mixing the colors to the look that I'm wanting to go for. So I will come back on as soon as I get both sides done, and we'll take a peek, and we'll go ahead and finish up this little mini tutorial. So I'll talk to you in just a minute. Okay, so real quick, I wanted to mention that I'm not going to be too concerned if the alcohol inks get onto the paper, because that's what happened on these two here. Oops. There we go. focus. So, and I like how that looks. I think that is just such a really cool, another bit of visual texture in color. So I just wanted to mention that really quickly, that, you know, I'm not gonna, but if you want to try to keep yours more contained onto the rim, the metal bit there, then you can do that, of course. You can just use a Q-tip or something to kind of, you know, sop it up. But for me, I'm not concerned about it. I think it's just fine. Like I said, it just adds another bit of texture. So, all right, just going to go ahead and repeat this onto the back side, and we'll come back on here in just a minute. Okay, so now I'm going to use the Distress Oxide. And I do want to point out too, you want to use some tweezers or something like that, because, you know, this does get warm as you're using your heat tool on it. So just so you don't burn yourself. And I'm just using it in the Vintage Photo. Oh, and I forgot to mention you need water too, a water bottle, sorry about that. And I just do that with it. And then I just come on there and a little bit of water and kind of do that. And of course I got a little bit heavy-handed this time, but that's okay. Because, you know, they're all going to look different each time. They're not going to be matchy-matchy, and that's okay. So, let me just grab my little thing here and kind of sop up just a little bit. So, there we go. And I probably just lifted up some of my coffee, but that's okay too. Look how cool that looks already. Now, you could just forego the whole coffee and just, you know, use the spray if you wanted to. If you don't want to have that extra step, that's not a problem. So I'm going to turn this here because I want to do the back side, because that area's a little bit wet still. So let's see if we can do it this time without putting half the bottle on there. So I kind of have a love-hate there. That's how I meant to do it the first time. That's what I did the first time. The first set, I should say. But I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the spray sometimes, because they sometimes they come out like I want out of the bottle, and then sometimes they just kind of do what they want to do. And, you know, sometimes it's good to let go of that control a little bit, but sometimes I like to try to control it. Okay, so now we have our tags. And you can adjust the alcohol, you know, inks and the sprays, you know, however you want to, of course. So these are my fronts, and then the back, and I look at, so I kind of concentrated more on the back side, since I'm going to be kind of covering up the front with the little vintage bingo tiles there. But isn't that just so cool looking? I just love it. So fun, so fun. So what I am using, or what I'm going to use again, I should say, are these little vintage bingo tiles. I'm going to top it off with this old string that I have. It's been kind of rusted. I didn't do that, but it looks so, so cool. And then what I'm using for my adhesive, you can use whatever you want, of course. I'm just using Fabri-Tac on mine, and then I'm just going to grab it and just put some on the back area there. And you can put your string or whatever you want to top it with before or after you put your, little embellishment on. You can do whatever you want to do, of course. And I just did mine last. I don't know why. That's just the way I did it. And then I have these vintage flower frogs. I just put them on there just to kind of hold it down for a moment while I'm cutting my string or whatever it is I'm going to put on the back side. Because this, that's one of the many things I love about Fabri-Tac. Beacon 3-in-1, they're essentially the same thing, is it's a fast grab glue, and I like that about it. So there's that. And then we'll put it on here. But again, you can make either side your front, just whatever, you want to do with that. So that is essentially it. I'm going to let those sit for just a moment. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of cut my string here where my scissors go. And then we will be done with this, quick little embellishment tutorial, how I made it type of a thing. I don't know. I don't want to call it a tutorial necessarily, but anyway, so there's that. Okay, so that is dry. I'm just going to grab this string here. And I don't know, I think they're just a fun thing. You can hang them off the side of a journal that you're working on, make it into a dangle if you want to. You can add an embellishment onto a tag or something like that. Unfortunately, I can't show you what I'm using my first two on because it's a secret project that I'm working on. And I hope to have that done before too long, so I can share it with all of you. But there are just, possibilities are endless. You can put little quotes. You can do like the little, just because I happen to have these sitting out here, you could put on the remnant rubs, which is what Timmy calls his, but they're basically just rub-ons. You could do that. You could stamp on them if you wanted to and you can buy these key rings. Is that right? Am I calling it the right thing? Key tags. I'm calling it everything but the proper name in this video. You can buy them where they're larger as well, so you have a little bit more real estate to do some stamping. You could journal, you could handwrite a quote, something like that. The possibilities, like I said, are endless. You could make these shabby chic and put flowers on there if you wanted to, or other little embellishments, all kinds of fun things. So I just wanted to share with you quickly how I just kind of played around with these for the first time, for me anyway. Making these, and they were just a lot of fun. So they were the first two I did, and then here are the ones that we just made together. So just really fun. So let me know in the comment section below if you've already been doing this, which would be awesome to find out, in the different ways that you embellish and kind of alter these key tags. And if you never have messed around with these before, like I haven't, then I encourage you to do that. And you can do it with all kinds of supplies. You don't have to have the same supplies that I used. You can use whatever it is you have around, paints, all kinds of things. So just let me know in the comment section below, and I'd love to hear how you've altered yours, or what you're going to use yours in different projects for yourself. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. I will see you next time. Stay safe and stay healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!